Another week, another batch of Switch eShop sales, but this week it's a little different. The sale is massive, with nearly 4,000 games discounted right now, so I've picked out 15 of my favourites to share with you, covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. Stick around too then, because I've got two winners to announce for two $10 eShop gift cards later in the video, and I'm also going to be giving away two more. Entering is easy, just drop a comment down below, it is that simple, and the winners they'll be announced next Saturday. Now do me a favour, if you enjoy the video hit subscribe, and if you're looking for the PlayStation equivalent of this channel, check out PlayStation Corner. I've linked it down below, and yeah, let's get into this. COCOON is 40% off and matching the low price, and what an incredible experience this is. From the creator of Inside and Limbo, he's truly outdone himself here. It is a stunning puzzle adventure game where, honestly, the less you know going in, the better. What I will say though is the puzzle mechanics are, well, just chef's kiss. Brilliantly designed, constantly surprising. Now at its core, it's all about mastering world-leaping mechanics. Each world exists within an orb that you can carry on your back, and solving puzzles involves leaping between these worlds, manipulating them and rearranging them in clever ways. You'll interact with alien environments, ancient biomechanical devices and diverse biomes, from industrial structures to massive organic caverns, all connected in really interesting ways. Each orb then also unlocks unique abilities, transforming it into a tool to uncover hidden paths, trigger switches, or even fire projectiles. Then, when you're not solving puzzles as well, you'll be facing off against guardians, each battle introducing new mechanics that definitely add an extra layer. Wild Bastards is 55% off a new low price. I reviewed this on the channel, find that video linked below. While it doesn't quite hit the same heights as Void Bastards, really enjoyed the gameplay loop here. You're basically exploring maps, collecting loot and diving into these small, self-contained, first-person shooter arena-style battles. What really makes it stand out though is the variety in the cast. You're building a team of outlaws, each with unique abilities, and you can switch between them on the fly during battles, just to adapt to different situations. The story then follows the remnants of the notorious Wild Bastards gang after they were nearly wiped out. Now, the last surviving members, they're teaming up with a sentient spaceship, the Drifter, on a mission to resurrect their fallen comrades while fleeing to the mythical homestead. Now, gameplay-wise, as I said, it's kind of a hybrid of first-person shooter and strategy. You'll travel from planet to planet, making tactical decisions about which outlaws to deploy based on each planet's terrain and enemy type. Now the shootouts, great fun, with enemies that actively flank you, use cover, or throw out all sorts of special abilities. Think teleportation, poison attacks, just all sorts going on. On top of all of this then, there is a relationship management layer too. You know, these outlaws don't always get along. That said though, this is the only element of the game that did begin to annoy me. It's not deep enough. Everything else, however, around it, more than solid. Vernal Edge is 45% off and matching the low price, and if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, I think this one is a gem. Now what really won me over was the world itself. Haricot is a series of floating islands ruled by a power-hungry church, and that setting is just, well, unique. The narrative though, it's driven by Vernal, a young woman on a quest to find her estranged father, fueled by revenge and aided by an automaton. Basically though, it blends personal stakes with a mysterious kind of fractured kingdom that is, oh yeah, ready to be explored. Now gameplay wise, expect it to be fast paced. The platforming feels incredibly responsive. The combat is solid with a focus on chaining combos and mixing in spells, definitely keeps the encounters fresh. And the pixel art then is also stunning. I do want to say as well with this one, you are free to chart your own course. Basically you can hop between islands in whatever order you choose. I really like that, but it means you can go kind of looking for secrets, gaining new abilities, and piecing together the story, not necessarily always in the same way. Nocturnal is 45% off and matching the low price. I really enjoyed this one. It's an action-adventure game with an incredibly unique aesthetic that really stands out. That's thanks to its kind of dark, atmospheric visuals and this presence, I guess, of a fog that plays a key role in the gameplay. Now, I will be upfront. The main thing that might put some people off is the runtime, clocking in at around 2.5 hours. Now, if you don't mind a shorter experience, I think it is well worth this price of entry. But yeah, you play as an ancient soldier of the enduring flame, returning to your island only to find it shrouded in this mist. The story revolves around uncovering what happened to your fellow soldiers and battling your way through enemies to free the island from this creeping darkness. Gameplay, really fast-paced, actually quite challenging combat as well. It requires timing and somewhat quick reflexes. Plus, the mist itself then isn't just a backdrop, it actually actively hunts you. And I found that really good fun. You'll be kind of navigating through its shifting presence. There's also then a speedrun option for those who love refining their runs and chasing faster times. And yeah, I thought this was a really unique experience. Darkwood is 70% off and matching the low price, and I genuinely think this is one of the most underappreciated horror games on the system. Now, going into it myself, I didn't expect a top-down perspective experience to deliver real tension. And I'll say it here, I was completely wrong. This is survival horror at its finest, an incredibly atmospheric experience that relies on dread and unease rather than, cheap jump scares. Now, if you are a fan of the genre, I don't think you should miss it. And I love the setting as well. It's set in the corrupted forests of the Soviet bloc, and Darkwood has you scavenging for resources by day, crafting weapons, setting traps, fortifying your hideout. But when night falls, it's a completely different game. You're bunkered down, praying your defenses hold as these forces, creep in from the darkness. The tension here is relentless because the game never tells you exactly what's coming or how to prepare. That's what I really like. Also, the world here is partially randomized, making every playthrough feel unique, and it's even got a branching storyline, so it gives weight to the choices you do make. I combine that then with the incredibly bleak atmosphere, and yeah, this game, it is a winner. Outer Wilds is 40% off and matching its lowest price, and while I'll admit the Switch port isn't perfect with occasional performance hiccups and visuals that have lost a bit of their original charm, it's still one of the most impressive adventure games in recent memory, and if the Switch is your only way to play, it is absolutely worth checking out. Now, you'll be playing as the newest recruit of Outer Wilds Ventures, a space program exploring a bizarre solar system stuck in an endless time loop. Your mission: unravel the mysteries scattered across planets that do evolve in real time. So imagine uncovering an underground city before it's buried by shifting sands, or a crumbling planet that's actually about to explode. It's as tense as it sounds. The real hook here, though, is discovery. You're going to be armed with your spacesuit and some basic tools, and you'll be tracking signals, deciphering alien languages, and piecing together the history of what are ancient civilizations. There is no hand-holding in this game. It's all about curiosity and exploration, so do take that into account. I know it won't be for everyone. And yeah, overall, I'd say despite its technical flaws on the Switch, the design of its time loop mechanic still just absolutely shines through. The Land Beneath Us is 30% off, matching its lowest price, and if you're looking for a unique strategy RPG, this one's a hidden gem. Now, it flew under the radar for many. I did do a video on it, I'll link that below. But the core concept is really interesting. You've got a weapon assigned to each direction, and movement happens on a grid-based system. The twist: enemies only move when you do, so there's kind of this strategic puzzle-like layer to every encounter. Now, you'll be playing as the ultimate soul harvester, forged by the creator to gather souls using advanced soul technology. Your mission is going to take you deep into the underworld of Anwin, where you'll battle, barter, and interact with incredibly weird characters to uncover the realm's dark secrets. The story gets a little bit kind of weird at times, honestly. The characters don't always, click, or they didn't for me at least. But the combat, it's all about chaining powerful combos with a variety of weapons, and it is just great fun. You can also mix and match the weapons in different slots, so it's, really, really unique. The short action-packed levels then as well here do encourage that strategic thinking. It's going to reward you the most when you start thinking about how to position yourself or what combos to execute. What Remains of Edith Finch is 75% off, matching its lowest price, and honestly, it is one of the best adventure games ever made. This is one of those rare cases where the less you know going in, the better, so I'm going to keep it brief. I will say though, it is slow-paced and falls into that kind of walking sim category, which I know won't be for everyone, but if you are into narrative-driven experiences, it is, again, something special. Now, you play as Edith Finch, exploring her family's mysterious house in Washington. Your goal is to uncover stories about her relatives, trying to understand why she's the last Finch left alive. Each story will transport you into the life of a different family member, experienced from a first-person perspective. What makes it fascinating though is how each tale is, both in gameplay mechanics and emotional tone, very kind of varied. It goes all over the place. Some are, kind of funny, others are creepy, and each ends with that character's death. But yeah, look, the game's ultimately about confronting the unknown, and I do think this one, it's easier to say, it is a must-play. Master Detective Archives Rain Code is 50% off, matching the lowest price. I'm a big fan of this one. It's definitely weird, there's no question about that, but it absolutely nails the tone and the delivery. What really stands out is how it blends a great collection of mechanics, drawing on elements from detective adventures, puzzle games, even some kind of light action. And you play as Yuma, an amnesiac detective in training, accompanied by a deaf god named Shinigami. Now together, you investigate the mysterious, rain-soaked city of Kunai Ward, which is under the control of a shady corporation, and yeah, basically it's filled with unsolved crimes. Your job? Solve them. Now the gameplay then is split into two key parts. First is the investigation phase, where you explore crime scenes, gather clues, they're called solution keys, and interact with a colourful cast of characters. Then though things get wild with the Mystery Labyrinth, a surreal realm where the case's mysteries come to life. So here, you'll face off against mystery phantoms in reasoning battles, using your solution blade to slash through contradictions and uncover the truth. Expect as well with this one, like a ton of side quests, collectibles as well, and yeah, it's just a really unique world. I can't quite name another game that feels anything like it. Sorda 7, because I can't pronounce the full name, is 40% off a new low price, and honestly, it's a fantastic port. Now you can check out my review below, but to be transparent, it's not perfect. The frame rate dips here and there, and the resolution can get a bit rough in some scenes, but despite that, you can tell that the devs push the hardware to its limits, and I really respect the effort here. Again, I've got the full review link below, I'll go into more detail there, but if you're into action RPGs, this one's got a solid combat system paired with an interesting story. Now, you play as a skilled swordsman determined to protect his family while unraveling a mystery that threatens all of China. Now, the game's story is rooted in ancient Chinese history and mythology, reimagined through a mix of fantastical elements. But yeah, come here for the combat. It's all real-time, incredibly smooth, combo-based, really good stuff. So slashing, dodging, blocking, countering enemies. Then there's the scrolls, powerful artifacts that let you manipulate time, absorb monsters, even alter environments. And yet as you progress as well, you'll be upgrading all of this stuff, your weapons, your armor, you'll unlock passive skills, you'll learn new techniques. Really good fun. And I do want to say there's a 7 in the name here. This is a standalone story, so there's no need to have any prior knowledge. New Star GP is a steal right now with 80% off, matching its lowest price. I've been banging on for years about F1 making its way to the system, and while this wasn't exactly what I had in mind, it definitely kind of fills a gap in the library. What I really like is the blend of styles. It's got an arcade look, but the controls sit somewhere between sim and arcade, so it's kind of a unique balance. Factor in then a massive career mode, interesting mechanics like tire strategy and management, and yeah, I think it stands out as something unique. My only gripe, really, the frame rate can wobble here and there, but it's not a deal breaker. It definitely, I'd say it's less, actually more rare than, I guess, common. But yeah, come here to take control of your own motorsport team, compete on iconic tracks from the 80s right up to the present day, and as you progress, you'll upgrade your car, tweak race perks, and fine-tune your pit strategies to stay competitive. Really good fun, definitely worth checking out. Ultra Age is 60% off, matching its lowest price, and this one was a surprise hit for me. And sure, the world can feel a bit grey at times, there's no question about that. But the action elements here are solid, the combat mechanics are really good fun, and there's even a cheesy yet enjoyable story as the backbone. My only real gripe is the resource collection for weapon maintenance. During tougher boss battles, I'd often burn through all of my materials, leading to a bit of a grind to restock. That aside though, it's a game that really caught me off guard in a good way. It's set in a distant future where Earth's resources are depleted and its ecosystem irreparably altered. So humanity here is split into two factions, those who escaped to the space colony, Orbital Ark, and those left behind in the shelter. After an experiment meant to save humanity fails, Earth becomes this wasteland. Enter then Age, our lead character, a young sword-wielding warrior who crash lands back on Earth, accompanied by his floating android companion. Our mission? To uncover the key to humanity's survival amidst the ruins. Come here for fast-paced hack-and-slash combat with a huge selection of weapons, some RPG elements, great combos, and yeah, there's even a update packed in here now. It's called the Rebirth Project. It's a DLC, and this is a roguelike side mode that features 30 floors, so it's new monsters, bosses, and a different progression system. Definitely worth checking that out too. Loop Hero is 75% off a new low price, and honestly this game is a masterpiece. I've got a full review link below. I'd say check that out, because trying to explain this one quickly, that is a challenge because it's such a unique blend of mechanics. At its core though, it's a roguelike strategy game where you don't directly control your hero. Instead, you shape the world around them by placing cards that create enemies, buildings and terrain as they're automatically looping through a path. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly deep. And the story then, really like it, kicks off in a world thrown into chaos after a mysterious enemy erases all of existence. You'll be playing as a lone hero trying to piece reality back together, one loop at a time. As you progress, you'll unlock new classes like the Rogue or the Necromancer, each with unique abilities that completely change your approach. Gameplay-wise then, it's all about balance. You'll strategically place cards to control the difficulty of each loop, managing risk and reward. Tougher enemies, for example, means better loot, but if you push too far, you'll risk losing everything. Yeah, it's an incredible game. Watch a full review, but yeah, I personally think one of the best on the system. Our winners of the week then for the two $10 eShop gift cards, they are on screen right now. Congrats both, email me for the codes. Everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next Saturday's video. Citizen Sleeper Collection is 36% off, and honestly, the series is a masterpiece. The second game actually just dropped a week or so ago, and I'm actually going to be doing reviews this week for both entries because I never covered the first one. Do me a favor for those as well. Keep an eye out for the videos because, look, it's a kind of game I love covering, but let's be real, getting views on these can be tough. But now onto the games, and the collection includes Citizen Sleeper as well as its sequel, Starwood Vector. In the first game, you're an escaped worker, a sleeper, trying to survive on a lawless space station after fleeing interplanetary corporate control. Now it's inspired by tabletop RPGs, giving you freedom to shape your path through the station's gritty, atmospheric world. You will manage dice rolls, make narrative-driven choices, build relationships, and juggle your character's deteriorating condition as you fight to carve out a future. Starwood Vector then expands on the foundation. This time, you're an escaped android with a malfunctioning body, no memory of your past, and a bounty on your head. However, here you'll get a ship, you'll recruit a crew, and you'll take on contracts across the Starwood Belt. The dice mechanics return, but with more dynamic systems tied to space travel, as well as resource management and crew interactions. Both games, incredible, and they're all about survival, identity, and found family. On top of all of that then, expect stunning artwork and incredible soundtracks. Neon White is our final game of the video, and without a doubt this was my favourite game of 2022, a masterpiece of design in my opinion. It is essentially a speedrunning first-person shooter with a unique twist. It's a card-based combat system that adds layers of strategy to every run. The goal, exterminate demons in heaven as fast and efficiently as possible. Now you'll be playing as White, an assassin pulled from hell to compete with other demon slayers for a chance of redemption and a permanent place in heaven. The gameplay, it revolves around collecting soul cards which serve dual purposes. You can use them to attack enemies or discard them to trigger movement abilities like double jump, dashes or explosive boosts. This mechanic creates a constant push and pull between combat and traversal, making each level feel like a puzzle to solve as you hunt for that fastest route. There's also then a visual novel style narrative woven throughout, diving into White's mysterious past and his relationships with other assassins. But if that's not your thing, do not worry. You can skip through it quickly and stay focused on the action. But look, honestly, even if you're here just for the speedrunning, you know, it is absolutely worth every penny. And that is the video down. What will you be checking out this week? Let us know in the comments. With that then, hit subscribe. Join us here for reviews, deals, news weekly, and I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers all.